Broadcasting live from SOAHR 2023 at the Gas South District Convention Center in Duluth, Georgia, it's time for North Fulton Business Radio. Brought to you by Oberman Law Firm, helping you navigate the complexity of workplace issues. Now, here's your host.
And hello again, folks. We're back, and we are at the Gas South District Convention Center for SOAHR 2023, brought to you by SHRM Atlanta. It's a fantastic conference this year. We've got over 700 people walking around and enjoying some fantastic sessions. And so if you're listening to this, you missed it. I'm sorry, but you need to come next year and enjoy SOAHR 2024. And it just gets better every year. And our guests get better every year. We're here with Dr. Aisha Wright-Burke, and she is with ADP. Dr. Wright-Burke, welcome.
Thank you so much, John.
Yeah, thank you for stopping by to share the great work you do. Let's talk about that work. How are you serving folks at ADP?
I love the question.
Yeah.
And I serve the folks at ADP through philosophy, succession planning, as well as supporting the infrastructure for them to have those conversations. Mm-hmm. And really just serving as a guiding light or a North Star for not only HRBPs, but leaders and how we have those conversations within our organization.
And so you're talking about planning ahead for changes.
Yes.
Those can be challenging and uncomfortable conversations, right?
They can be.
Yeah.
But if you think about it as a contingency plan, so to speak, or business continuity plan, when you think about your most critical roles in the organization, it doesn't have to be so daunting, especially when you're thinking about how someone needs to be developed, what their strengths are, what do they love to do, and how they aspire to in their career, whether it's laterally, whether it's in the same role, or whether it's a role above.
This is really, with employees wanting to know how they're going to develop internally at an organization. I mean, that's a big part of what they're looking for, right? So you're really giving them a roadmap, right?
There are a lot of different ways we give them roadmaps.
Yeah.
We have a My Career Connect, which gives an idea of who in your role has done what other roles in the organizations over a period of time.
Oh, wow.
So that's a great way that an associate can use or an employee could use it as a stepping stone to try and think about what they like to do in their career. Mm-hmm. There's also driving your own career. It's another resource that we have for growing your career at ADP, depending on what stage you're in your career, whether you're new to role, whether you're developing in role or looking for that next role.
Yeah.
Gives a leader and the associate some stepping stones to think about where they are in that season of their career and how they would like to move forward, along with succession planning.
Right. Wow. That's pretty comprehensive. Talk about, this sounds like something that's rather unique to me. I mean, that this is not something that maybe a lot of enterprise organizations have gone as deep as ADP has. What do you think?
I think it depends on the organization and where they are on their maturity level.
Yeah.
When it comes to how they're thinking about development, how they're planning for people in their organizations, sometimes there are organizations that focus at the top only. Fortunately, we're focusing not only on the top, but throughout the organization. Mm-hmm. But we can always have more conversations about our talent in order to retain, in order to attract as well as develop individuals.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And you said something there that I think is really important, and I think employees, they see this, right? And what they see when you're applying the same resources to their level in the company that you apply to the C-suite, that really says a lot, doesn't it?
It does.
It communicates a lot to them.
It does. It also communicates a lot to your board.
Oh,
for the organization, knowing that you are being planful at all levels of your organization. It says a lot to a lot of different audiences and stakeholders.
So what are some of the big maybe things that employees pull out of this process that are surprising for them? I mean, I know that you've got to get feedback from them, right? So what, they go into it with certain expectations, and what do they come away with?
I think it depends on the manager-employee relationship. That's the crux of everything. Mm-hmm. And how well do they communicate, those two people communicate about those aspirations, their strengths, and how that person wants to develop their career. Mm-hmm. And what could be surprising is maybe after the fact. They might have a question that they might not have asked. But I also think there's a premise that nothing is guaranteed. Mm-hmm. And if you focus on the development of yourself, then that's what you should focus on in the immediate moment, because succession plans as well as business continuity plans can change at a dime.
Right.
So keeping a balance of what's not promised and also your development today is really helpful, and just bringing some balance to that conversation and keeping some continuity for the organization and for that individual, if that helps.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. So we're here obviously at SOAHR 2023. Lots of HR leaders like you looking at, the trends and what they need to be paying attention to. What are you seeing in this year's conference that has caught your eye, caught your ear?
These conferences are always a great way to reflect, as well as to just sit back and think about what's most important to you, like you said, and what's coming about. I think the one thing that stands out for me is mental wellness, and how we continue to incorporate that, not just because we had a pandemic. Mental wellness has been around for a long time.
Right.
It's how do we get it in the hands of our associates in a palatable way, and to be able to support them in any manner or season of their life.
Yeah, you put your finger on something I think is really important. It's like a lot of issues in HR, like diversity, equity, inclusion, where you don't want it to be the issue of the day, right? You want to create some systemic change within your organization, and mental wellness is at that moment, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so the question is, what are you going to do that really creates change, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, do you have any thoughts on that?
I think what really helps create change is giving people the tools they need when they need them, and then knowing how to find those things when they actually need it.
Right.
And I think that goes hand in hand, and just what you mentioned, DEI, is weaving it into the fabric of an organization, which is one step, one associate at a time, one leader at a time.
Right.
So we build our habits, we build our practices, we have our tools, know how to find them, and then we're all the better for it. And then we just have to keep on shifting as we have change moving forward.
Yeah.
Because nothing stays the same.
Yeah, that's right. Wow, great thoughts. So you've been involved with SHRM Atlanta for quite a while, right?
It's been maybe 5 to 7 years.
Okay.
Different levels. More interaction now than it was in the very beginning. It's very intimate in the beginning, but love to be here and love to volunteer.
Yeah. So talk about why you're involved in SHRM Atlanta, what it does for you personally in your career.
Personally, I enjoy working with people working towards a common goal that has positive impact. And I choose 2 organizations to volunteer with, and SHRM is one of them because it's a profession I love. It's also not just building your network, but building relationships with people that you can help, that you can serve through your experiences, and you also will learn something from them.
Yeah.
So I enjoy volunteering on teams, whether it's for a program or for a conference.
Yep.
And that's where I find the most value, building those relationships.
That's terrific. Dr. Aisha Wright-Burke with ADP. Dr. Wright-Burke, you're terrific. You do great work, and that work deserves to be celebrated. We're just delighted we could do that and have you come by and talk to us. So thank you so much.
I appreciate it. My pleasure, John.
Yeah, thank you.
Something that you could put in your year-end report. You're not doing it.
Thank you for joining us. This episode of North Fulton Business Radio is underwritten by Oberman Law Firm. Oberman Law helps local, regional, and national clients manage the sensitivities of employee relations in the workplace.